I see trees of green, red roses blue. I see them blue for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends taking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
And my son Adam and Bob's sons Peter and Andrew, sorry.
She didn't see you. She didn't see you.
And we have our two young musician friends from Tijuana that that one of the last things Bob did was go to a performance by Sochi. It was wonderful. So I just wanted to say a few things that I hope will be fun. Bob and I were very different people, but we fit together really well, pretty seamlessly from the beginning, from when we met. And one of the stories I like to tell that shows how well we fit together was the buying of this house. And one of our friends, Terry Kahn, was the realtor who sold us the house. And Terry was a friend of mine from Kentucky, and our children, we carpooled when they were in kindergarten together. Okay, so, and I forgot to introduce my sister who's here. Who came in from Guam, and I also forgot Bob's closest friend, Mike Several and Ruth, who were his friends from college, so who are very close. So anyway, I'm going to tell you the story about how we bought the house. And it shows how lucky we were to find each other, because the realtor had given us some places to look. And we pulled up in front of this house, and it was at night, and we had worked all day, and I was crabby. Bob he never was crabby, really, and I was when I was tired. So anyway, we're crabby. I was crabby, and I said, I don't want to get out and look at this house. I said, I can tell. There was a big old camper across the street, and I couldn't see. I have no sense of direction, so I didn't even realize that Balboa Park was at the end of the street. And I said, I don't want to get out of the car. And he said, come on. And he said, let's just go look. We're here. And I said, no, I don't want to get out of the car. I'm so tired. I just want to stay in the car. So he walked partway up the steps. And he came back down and he said, you've got to get out of the car. And so I got out of the car and we walked up the stairs, and there's a wonderful view which was not listed as on the house. There was a wonderful view, and we looked at each other, and okay, yes, this is our house. Now the part where I play the hero is then we're getting ready to buy the house, and Bob is thinking, oh, this is so much money. Should we really do this? And I am the one who said yes. Now, the so much money at the time was $200,000. But, we were journalists, and this is so much. So this is how well we fit together. Now, and most of our life, it was like this. I'd go one way, he'd go the other. We'd get right together, and it all worked out. So Bob taught me a lot about life, not by telling me things, but just by being the person he was. And he had the most remarkable sense of himself. He never cared much. If he was doing something, he never thought, oh, what'll people think of me if I do this? It never even entered his mind. Those of you who are in the bicycle group, someone once came home. He came home with these flowered women's bicycle shorts, and someone had given them to everybody. But he loved those shorts because they were so comfortable. He really liked those shorts, and he continued wearing them. But he didn't care that they were pink flowered women's shorts. He liked those shorts. So I want to tell you that when I met Bob, we were both television critics, and we met at the TV Critics Press Tour. And TV critics from all over the country would come, and you'd stay in a hotel, and you would work all day, and you'd write stories all night. You'd interview people. You'd be trapped in this hotel. And the first thing I noticed about Bob, you're in some of the sessions, there might be 150 people in there, and there's someone down on the stage. And your job is to get their attention so they will answer your question. Bob had this voice. Mr. Rather, over here. And I thought, wow, I need to be able to do that. Now, I was sitting in the back, sort of like this, thinking, should I speak up? I was terrified to ask a question. And I would hold up my hand, and they had people with microphones. He didn't care if the microphone wasn't there. If he needed to talk to Mr. Rather for his story, he did not care. It was, Mr. Rather, over here. So I always loved that. And then one time, a group of us were going to have dinner together. And Bob wanted to go on a bicycle ride first because he was the only one. He brought his bicycle. So it turned out the other people didn't come because we were all working. Everyone had different schedules. So I went. And here comes Bob into a nice little Italian restaurant. He is wearing a bright yellow bicycle jersey, his bicycle pants, and his cleats. Which those of you who ride bikes, you're like your jingle bells all the way across the floor. And it never even entered his mind to be concerned about what people thought, because he wanted to go out for dinner, he wanted to go for the bicycle ride, and this is what he did. So now I'm going to segue to growing old. But the good thing is that made his life with Parkinson's much better than it would have been. And he accepted the indignities and the diminution, am I saying it, diminution, that comes with Parkinson's, no matter, and he worked very hard, and he did better than most, but it's inevitable. And when he could no longer walk around the block, we used to love to walk in our neighborhood, and when he could no longer walk around the block with me supporting him, he transitioned to a walker. He never said a word. He never said, "Oh, I don't want the neighbors to see me." He embraced his walker because he felt so solid with this wonderful walker. When he could no longer bathe himself, he welcomed Sandra and a couple other people who helped him. And he never said, "I don't want this." And in doing that, he maintained his dignity. When he could no longer walk with the walker in the last week of his life, and Andrew and Peter were here, and they said, "You want to go for a walk, Dad?" And he got into the wheelchair, which we had. He had never used the wheelchair until that week. He got into the wheelchair, and they went off and had their walk. And that was the week before he died. It was never, "Oh, I don't want to use a wheelchair." And the last thing I'll say is, one of my granddaughters summed it up so well for me last week, because she called and, she's, "How are you doing, Grandma?" And she said, "The thing I remember most about Grandpa," she said, "one time when we were little, we went to get ice cream." And Bob loved ice cream. And he really loved ice cream. And she said, we went to get ice cream, and Grandpa had ice cream all over his face. And it was dripping down his shirt. And she said, "You went to get a paper towel to wipe him up," but he didn't care. He was smiling, and he was just enjoying the ice cream. So that's all I want to say about this wonderful person that I was lucky enough to be married to. And I hope we have a wonderful night tonight. He loved this house, and he loved having people over. In fact, a couple weeks before we died, we were talking about, we should have, there's several groups in here that we play this game. He said we should have people over to play the game. So, anyway, thank you very much for being here. It's nice to meet you.
So apparently we're standing over here. Howdy, folks. If you haven't met me before, I'm Andrew. I'm Bob's youngest. This is my older brother, Peter. I just wanted to mention a couple other things. Peter and I grew up on bikes. I could say more about it, but that's really the nut of it. We grew up cycling with Dad. Wow. And, yeah.
Okay, we love cycling with Bob, too.
Oh, thank you, honey.
We really did. That's why I'm here.
And speaking of ice cream, wow, okay, here I go. I think you were in Boston. You were somewhere. He came up to see Cynthia and I. And we were sitting there having dinner. And I said, "Hey, Dad, I got something to tell you." "Hey, Dad." He goes, looks up, "What?" He says, "We're having a baby." Oh. First thing he does, he reaches over, he hugs Cynthia. And he says, "I want to take my grandchild for the first ice cream."
Andrew was going to be the one who didn't cry. We talked about this, right?
I really thought I would. And then, so after dinner, we went around the corner to the ice cream shop. Yeah. Anyway, he loved parties. Please enjoy yourself.
Yes, eat a lot of food.
Good job, Andy. Good job.
Yeah, it's been ordered. So thank you all for coming. I know some of you don't know others. I'm acquainted with some, but I've learned something about his life from all of you who've talked to me. So thank you for that. Thank you for being here. As my brother said, he loved parties. So enjoy yourselves in spite of the occasion.
Yes, he would want you to enjoy yourself.
And we have a playlist of his music coming up. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, Mike, raise your hand, Mike. Mike, put your hand up real tall.
He's coming.
Oh, okay. There's Mike. This guy right over here. Of everybody here today,
He's very good.
I'm probably the person who has known Bob the longest of all the people who are here now. Not the best, but the longest. I have 65 years of memories. The story begins in October 1960 during an upheaval with the Daily Californian. I remember going to his dorm room in Unit 1 at the campus. I don't remember the specifics of what we talked about, but I assume it concerned the upheaval that was affecting the Daily Californian. My memories of him at Berkeley are somewhat fragmented and limited, but I do remember he had great parties at his apartment on the north side of campus. And he had in his apartment there were struts, and he would line the beer cans on the struts, and there was an earthquake and toppling his artwork. After he left Berkeley, he went to San Francisco State and majored in journalism, I believe. And after I graduated from Berkeley, we rented a house in San Francisco at 48th and Judah. One of the clearest memories that I have on November 22nd, 1963, he left the place before me, and I followed a little bit later, and he then was running back to the house. The president has been shot, and I think we all now who were living then remember, have your own memories of that weekend. When I left, after he graduated, he went to San Jose State, where he got a master's degree in science, and I continued staying in San Francisco State, but then I enlisted into the Peace Corps, and I used him as a reference. So I later asked, what did you tell the FBI when they came around? And he said, he told the FBI that I was not a left-wing deviationist. When I was in the Peace Corps training, as a measure, well, maybe let me make just a little digression. Since moving to Berkeley, I've been meeting about once a month with some old Daily Cal people who were my age, and I asked them what they remember about Bob, and the one who remembered him the best was on the editorial board of the Daily Californian, and he remembered him as a dogged journalist. And I think I got a sense of that when I was in the Peace Corps training, because almost immediately he started sending me articles about what was happening on the Berkeley campus. And that was ultimately known as the free speech movement. I mean, he was sending me these articles weeks before it became a national news, and I think it reflects his journalistic sense. When I was deselected out of the Peace Corps, and on the way back to San Diego, where my parents lived, the flight was from Philadelphia to Detroit to LA to San Diego, but I called him from Detroit, and he invited, he told me, come on up when you get settled, and when I did go up, he helped get information about me enrolling in San Jose State, where I subsequently did and got a teaching credential. While I was living up here, going to school and then doing some substitute teaching, he was working for a small newspaper in Milpitas, and he got a trespass. It's my only brush with history because of Bob. He got a press pass for the Beatles concert. Which was, the last public concert the Beatles ever did. In Kendrick Park. Subsequently, I lived in Los Angeles. He lived in the Los Feliz area of Los Angeles, working for UPI, but I frequently went over there for dinners. And one of the dinners, it was Lyndon Johnson was giving a speech. So we were watching on the telly, watching the speech, and we started talking, and then the speech ends. And it was either Walter Cronkite or Eric Severoid saying, Lyndon Johnson announced that he's not going to run for office. And we were, we were talking, we totally missed that message. But I do remember also we went to, I used to go, he staffed the UPI office in LA on Saturday, at night. And I sometimes went over on Saturday night and we would watch lousy horror movies. And the one that I think he liked the most, perhaps because of the title, was The Incredibly Strange Monsters that gave up living to become mixed up zombies. This movie, was made. It was that title. But on a more sober note, I went down with him. I think with Johnson's speech there was also an increase in commitment for troops to Vietnam. And I went with him down to the El Toro Marine Air Station, and he, I don't know, got close to the troops, maybe talked to him, I don't know, but I have a very clear memory of going down with him and seeing the aircraft and the lights at night and the troops lined up ready to fly off to Vietnam. After over the years, my first wife and I would come down, and Bob and Marilyn would come up. So we maintained contact over the years. One of the things that Bob did when he was covering the music, rock and jazz for the Tribune. He would stay at the awards or something. We went to the Sheraton Hotel in Huntington, and we would always meet him on his trips to the Los Angeles area for the events. It was with the marriage of my, actually I forgot the most important thing for me, is he played a key role in my meeting my wife. He was covering rock and jazz for the Tribune. He went to New York. The Newport Jazz Festival was in New York. And anyway, he had 4 tickets to see Dizzy Gillespie at the Avery Fishing Hall, and I became, the outsider who came in, and I met my wife Ruth. Bob described her as having a sense of humor. And I think she has that and other things. But it was when the wedding of my youngest daughter in 2017. Now we first saw the Parkinson's symptoms shortly after that. Susan informed us that he had Parkinson's. In 2020, my wife and I moved to the Bay Area. And we came down here once 2 years ago, but over the years after moving to Berkeley, we maintained a monthly 6-week Zoom gathering, and watch this decline. Last conversation was 2 or 3 days before he passed away. Susan put the phone by him. I told him I love him. He's like a brother. Susan said he waved. I waved. And he did later, he passed away. The end of this 65-year recap, I will end with the journalist mark for the ending of the story. 30.
Okay, now we're gonna have fun. Right? We are.
Yeah.
We are. Okay, we have food. We have food. So I have made his favorite desserts, which are Junior's cheesecake from New York. If you've been to New York, there's a Junior's cheesecake that's forever. So we have Junior's cheesecake. We have hummingbird cake, which we made every year for the Knickerbockers. And we have chocolate cake, and we have Laura Bush chocolate chip cookies, which, because I must say most of my friends are Democrats, and I would give them the cookies first and then tell them where the
They're really good cookies.
They're really good cookies. So have some food, please, and then we'll go in and, yeah.
Had it been another day, I might have looked the other way, and I have never known the likes of this. I even know I'm here tonight. Lie, 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 lie. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I have never known the likes of this. I even know see you tonight. Lie, 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 lie. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again.
Good job.
Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I have never known the likes of this. I even know I've all my life. I can lie, 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 lie. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again.
All right.
Hey, Elena. How you doing? Postcards, writing letters on my wall. Two of us burning matches, lifting latches on our way back home. We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. You and I have long road that stretches standing solo in the We're on our way home. We're on our way home. We're going home. You and I have memories longer than the road that stretches ahead. You and me wearing raincoats, standing solo in the sun. You and me playing together, on our way going home.